Welcome to another episode of Selective Ignorance. I'm your host, Mandii B, and this week I am joined by some really lovely guests to talk about the several myths surrounding turning 30 for women, often being portrayed as a point of decline or a time when certain opportunities close. Y'all, there is the shriveled up hag myth that talks about the attractiveness or less desirability of women as they exit their 20s. There's the end of youth myth where you should be a little bit more mature. Your nails should be a certain color. Your makeup should be a little bit more demure. You shouldn't be as youthful anymore. Then, of course, there is the conversations around parenting or your career. Where should you be in your 30s? Should you be a housewife? Should you be married? Should you be wed? Or should you be a C-suite level exec? I think that there's so many conversations around what happens as we turn 30, as we navigate our 30s. And of course, we get into, well, where society deems that we should all be as women, as mothers, as wives. And so there's also the loss of fertility that has become the conversation in us being high risk and I forgot the goddamn word, but geriatric. There we go. Yeah. The geriatric women. Also, there's instant adulting. At 30, as a woman, you should have everything figured out and you should absolutely be out of your hoe phase. That's what they say. I disagree with all of these takes. And it sounds like my guests do too. Y'all, I want you to welcome as we are going to have a daring conversation with maybe some of the same opinions, but also I think we will have opposite ones looking at the faces in this room. Y'all, I'll start to my left. We are joined by KikiSaidSo, one half of Cocktails Dirty Discussions podcast. And also we'll get into her new show that she has coming out as well. To my right, I am joined by the Lex P. Now, hold on. Let me give you her motherfucking resume. She is one half of the Poor Minds podcast. She is the host of Love Lex P, and she is also one half of Travel Queens that y'all could tune into now on BET Her. And then last but not least, someone who I got to meet last night, but also have adored online, and someone who I think might actually sound crazier than me. I'm so glad I found someone who could join me on a mic. We have KillahBee, who was one half of the High Maintenance Pod, now the host and creator and founder of Honeycomb. So, baby, we getting into it. Now, normally you're not supposed to ask a woman her age. But I do, you could say you in your early, mid, or late. Because we're talking about navigating our 30s. And so I want to kind of ASL the top of this. Okay. Instead of age, sex, location, I would like to know where you are in your 30s, if you have kids, and if you are single, taken, married, or complicated.
Don't look at me like that.
Kiki, we'll start with you.
All right. Okay, my age. I'm in the thick of it. In the thick of the thick. I was about to pull out my calculator. Okay, honestly, I think I'm 36. Okay. I was born September 13th, 1988. I think I did my math right. I lied for so goddamn long. I be forgetting. And then I said I was 37 the other day because somebody said I was 37. I was like, I guess they're right. It was a joke. But then a little kid had corrected me. I was ashamed. I said, I need to stop lying. Okay, so that's my age. What was the other one?
Wait, do you lie to be younger or older?
I just be like, it's a social construct. You're only as old as you feel. I honestly, and we'll talk about it later, but I was scared about turning 30. When I turned 30, I wasn't where I wanted to be, so I wanted to be younger. And I just said I was 30 for a long time. Long time. What else?
Do you have kids? Because that is a conversation. And then are you wed?
I am a mother. I have a little girl. Her name is Whitley Beyonce Gilbert. She is a beautiful, beautiful child. I don't know if you want to throw a graphic on the screen, but I asked my homegirl, Cece, to send me some new pictures of my baby girl, and she did. Okay. Cece is ChatGPT. I named her because I tell her all my damn business. And my baby girl, Whitley, is a dog.
And so you are a dog mom.
Okay.
I have have to pay for a sitter. She goes to doctor's visits.
Okay, so you a dog mama.
I'm a real mother.
Very modern day woman of you. Very modern day woman of you.
Now, my relationship status, I am single and I'll be single until I'm married. I would personally like to skip everything in between. We talked about that last time. I'll get engaged. I want to skip everything in between and I will remain single until I got a ring on my finger.
Okay.
That did not come from Fashion Nova like the rest of my jewelry.
Period.
Y'all already know me. I am 34 years old. I am a cat mom.
Okay.
And I am in a relationship right now, but do not want marriage. Oh yeah, I got a boyfriend. And I'm really happy with him. But do not want to be married and do not want children. So, and we'll talk about that as well. Lex.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Lex P. I am 35 years old. I don't have any children besides the ones I sent up to heaven.
Shit happens.
I mean, shit happens, you know? And my relationship status, I want to say it's complicated, but it's not.
Okay.
I think we have an understanding. I was in a relationship for a year. We went through a rough patch, but I think we're obviously through the rough patch. So I think it's cool. You know?
Very modern day woman of you.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I'm for it.
And I absolutely do want to get married one day. And do I want children? Maybe. I think I'm just kind of going with the flow of whatever God blesses me with.
Okay. And Killah?
I am in the thick of it. I'm old.
Wait. And we'll get into it. But what is
mid-30s.
Mid-30s. Okay.
Yes. So anyway, I don't have any kids and I don't want any.
Okay.
And I'm single.
Okay, so what I find interesting is based on even just us introducing ourselves, there is probably a large majority of the population that will deem us as probably old, withered, and damn, these bitches don't
not
have
withered, baby.
Well, we know
Never
that,
gave that.
but I'm saying in terms of society, we are unwed and do not have children.
Yeah.
And so y'all can drop in the comments. I know there's been so many views specifically from men that put those expectations on us, but also our peers as other women. So based on what I said, based on the myths, I talked about you kind of having it all figured out by the time you're 30. And we'll maybe start with you because you led into that. The ending of your youth, to me, the excuse of your whole phase, being shriveled up, being a myth, and we'll talk about that with current events later too. But was there fear amongst all of y'all about reaching your 30s? And are you fine with where you're at right now?
It's crazy, you know, because you can look at Poor Minds episodes when I was like 28, 29, about to turn 30. And this is something my mother instilled in me. Aging is beautiful.
Yes.
Do it gracefully because it's coming. And when people look at those old episodes, they said, I love that Lex never shied away from aging. And I always tell my age because, baby, I'm getting better. I'm looking better. I'm healthier. I'm making more money. I'm more aware of who I am as a person. I love being 35. It's a beautiful thing. Some people don't make it to 35.
That's
But
true.
as she said,
And then sometimes people who are my age, they don't have anything figured out. So I'm happy to be this age. It's beautiful.
You're happy to be this age. So then I want to ask you, what made you fear your 30s, and what made you also lie once you got in your 30s? You just kept saying 30. Like,
I got used to saying 30, but I was just so fearful. It was the societal pressures, the family pressures. Everybody had these ideas about life, how life was supposed to be. Then I'm looking at people who I was still friends with from college and high school and looking at how their lives are going. And most of the people in my life at that point had a more traditional plan, right?
I hate going on
and
Facebook.
So,
I like my friends on Instagram.
all I see is goddamn babies.
Facebook baby
Easter
is like a
baskets.
failure.
Facebook scares me though. That ain't the life I want. Everybody
go
is a
there.
teacher. Their man is
Working at the bank.
Their man is a banker. They got 2 kids. They got a house where all 20 of them on the street look just alike.
Yes,
They
the
got
box
a Toyota.
houses.
And it's no shade. That's
It's
just not
no
what
shade,
That's just
right?
not what you want.
So it really scares. That life scares me. So that
That scares you.
That particular life model, because I
Okay.
think
Which is the traditional model, like
Yes.
like
And
we're
I
saying.
didn't even want that for myself. but it was still scary because I think maybe after I turned 30, I was so scared of turning 30 leading up to it. I was lying before then. I just wouldn't say how old I was, right? And so then I turned 30 and I started to get more comfortable. It was just almost like having an epiphany. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck are you scared of? What is the problem? Like, life is going good for you. It's going okay. It wasn't great, but it was going good. And I think that eventually I just had to be more comfortable in my own skin and tune out the other noise. I will say that doing cocktails helped that. I cut off a lot of friends while I was doing the show from the beginning up until probably 2019. 2020, I'll say. A lot of people, as the show started to grow at that point and more people were seeing it, and when I started the show, I could have a catalog of stuff that wasn't currently happening, but that had happened that I could talk about on the show. All my hoe phase shit, right? And I was still in my hoe phase.
I'm mad I shared all that shit.
You know, I sometimes I look back like, God damn, bitch,
why?
did you not have a friend to call?
Listen.
And sometimes I did it.
We did high maintenance, and on the third episode, I think my co-host told a story about her picking up a couple, like some random couple. And
I did that in my 30s.
This was like on the third. No, she was in her 30s too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying she told the story like on the third episode, and when the episode was over, she was like, I feel like you leaving me out on my own. You a hoe too. Why you gonna tell your stories? And I was like, boo, you on the third episode. You don't even know these people yet. We 30 something.
I had a whole missing condom my first episode with a nigga that I fucked on a one night stand. So that's that.
But you see now you're like, damn, I wish I wouldn't have said
I
that.
don't regret it. I love the fact that people can see my growth. I think it's inspiring. I think it shows the maturity. I think it's beautiful.
I'm some of it.
The whole path is a great path to see, right?
Wait. The whole path?
Whole.
I was about to say
But even the whole path, I think it's because you know what? It shows women that we lived a life that was not modern or traditional, and it worked out for us.
Can I ask all of you? Because I know there's men listening, there's women listening. Is there an age that you should cut off from your hoe phase?
I don't think so.
Can you be too old to be doing hoe shit?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. I do think that as you get older, you should also get wiser and be a safer hoe.
Yes.
Okay.
Discernment.
Yes.
Okay.
Discernment.
Which definitely comes with age.
Safety,
Yes.
condoms, tests.
Yeah.
Get tested more regularly. I did not always use a condom. I should have.
Right.
And there were some scares there, and I always came out okay, but everybody doesn't.
Right.
So it's like, get older and make better choices if you're going to do it. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you want to have sex, if you want to explore, do it. There's no age on that.
I think society would be better if we all realized that everybody doesn't want the same thing. Stop trying to judge somebody or make somebody feel bad, because just like Killah said, she doesn't want to be a teacher or marry a banker and have a house. But that is somebody's dream life. That is somebody's dream.
What do y'all
I'm not
have
going to condemn you for that.
What are y'all's conversations with your parents? As all of us are,
They dead. Bitch. I don't know.
Oh, the dad too.
Yeah, both of them.
Well, I do want to
Gone.
know. Well,
R.I.P.
I hate. Oh my God!
R.I.P.
Stop it.
I'm sick of you.
In terms of then family members, we talk about Thanksgivings where people ask, "Where the man when you having a baby?" How are those responses with your family members that might also be more traditional? Your aunties, your uncles, your cousins. A lot more people live in more traditional. I'll say I think I'm privileged to not have the pressures of it because I've been in New York for the last 13 years. But coming back to the South, you being from Texas, Texas, goddamn. Y'all,
bitch.
but y'all being from the South, I think there's, or even being now in the Bible Belt, being in Atlanta, there's more of a push for us to live more traditionally. In New York, that's not really the case.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think times have just changed so much because now the older women in my family, they say, baby, you're doing it.
Really?
Because
Okay, I like that.
My aunt, we were just talking about this, my Auntie Lane, love her to death. She was in a relationship since she was like 14, got married very young.
Oh, wow.
And now she's like, baby, you're doing what you're supposed to do. You're focusing on yourself.
Shout out to
because
her.
when you're 30, you haven't even lived half of your life.
Not even half, y'all.
You're not even halfway there. I am very much on track to still getting everything that I want if it's marriage and kids. I'm doing it right. I'm making sure I'm set up financially to be prepared for anything. I'm focused right now.
At 35, is there anything that society does pressure you to have or do?
Yeah, because
to have kids.
comments
It's
all
the
the
kids.
time. They look at us like, oh, y'all doing all this, but you're not married and you don't have kids.
You ain't got no man, blah, blah, blah. As if that is the stamp of success.
Yeah.
Having a
See
man?
you niggas. Yes, having a man.
Do y'all see y'all's bank account? Do y'all see
Do y'all see these niggas?
How do y'all see y'all?
And then
I'm
you see
saying.
them little
No, I agree.
babies on Facebook. I've seen them. And
I'm not missing out on
That's
nothing.
one thing though that my family never pressured me for as kids. Yeah, my grandmother got married. She was 16, and my mom when she was 17. My mama had me at 2 months after she turned 18. So they always like, get you some money so you could tell a nigga to kiss your ass. And my grandma told me, I will be okay if I never meet your kids. Tell them about me. I would rather you be in a position to take care of yourself
Amen.
and them than to say, I want to see your kids. No, I don't. You can show them my pictures. Like I show you my mama pictures and you're just fine. You can tell them about me. So that's the thing that never really happened in my family. But these niggas' families.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Their
it's like they want to
Very
push the nigga boys off onto us to
is
take
a nigga
care of
boy?
them because they do, like a man child.
A man
because
child.
they don't want to take care of him no more. And they
yeah.
just hoping that they can find a good woman to help him out.
No, but they keep asking you about kids.
And I want you to talk about how we talked about the conversation where the person you were dating, it was like, I don't want to tell too much, but how it was always, when are you having his child versus when are you going to marry my son? When are y'all? She would never
So
bring
since
up
the
marriage.
first time I met his mom, the very first conversation, kids. And every
you got
conversation
ring,
after.
before he showed up as
don't even
the
know.
protector.
She never asked about, are y'all talking about marriage, the commitment?
No.
She never brought
It was
that
just
up.
kids.
At Christmas Day, this past Christmas, when Beyonce was finna perform, she started that shit. I said, listen, now, with all due respect, you have never asked this boy when he's gonna marry me. And the nigga just introduced me to somebody as a special friend. That's the word
Not a
he used.
special friend.
Ain't nothing wrong with a special friend, but that was wrong. That was wrong. I like a special friend, but that was
Yeah,
wrong.
because that's what you call.
Who the hell having a baby with a special friend?
I'm sorry. If we having roast, turkey, mac and cheese, it is a special occasion. Do not introduce me as no special friend.
No, I'm saying that is wrong. I'm just saying you can have
I'll tell
one.
you want to know me in my 20s? You introduced me as your special friend. I'm fucking your teammate. And I did it. Oh, we just friends, nigga. That means your teammate is up for grabs.
And it's funny because he thought I didn't hear him.
Oh,
Special
so
friend is
Because
crazy.
I was like in the kitchen making my plate, and so
But this is
one
your
of the aunties-
boyfriend.
well, he wasn't my official boyfriend at the time, but we were already dating for like 9 months, 8 months. But I was in the kitchen making my plate, and one of the aunties was like, what was that? Oh, that's my special friend. He didn't think I heard him. But when I confronted the mom, everybody in the room could hear me. So then everybody knew that I did hear him. I said, he just introduced me as his special friend. So who's having a baby?
That is so ass backwards to
No,
me.
that is
Asking
ass
you about
backwards as
that.
fuck.
Y'all aren't officially together. He introducing the aunties as your special friend. Like,
But also the mom wants you to have kids. I do also want to say where we're at, all of us in our mid 30s, deeper. You said mid too though, right?
Yeah, mid.
Y'all are, I wanted to bring up an article because where both of your aunt, your family had kids in marriage before they was 21.
Too.
Yours
My
too?
mama had me at 20.
Yeah.
My mom
They
had me at 21.
used to pressure me. I think that maybe they was trying to put me off on somebody to take care of me, but eventually they figured out I'm gonna be fine. Nobody does it anymore. I think my grandmother and my grandfather, I low-key think they holding on to see if I'm gonna have a baby or something because they would like to meet him. I'm the first grandchild. But luckily, I also have a ton of siblings. My sister has 3 kids and a
That's
husband.
enough for all-
She knocked it all out the park. So just go over there. And the kids came out cute. So bam.
Period.
So I brought up geriatric pregnancies early on, and the fact is, we are normally told that after 35, it becomes extremely difficult for us to conceive. However, there have been more babies born to women 40 plus than there has to teenage pregnancies, which we are seeing. And it could be because we're making more money, we're healthier. Bitch, we all going to the park, we doing Pilates, we're caring more about ourselves. And the youth is eating Tide Pods. So
and vaping.
and vaping and all the things. So I think it's interesting that we are reaching an era where not only can we choose later, but with robots and everything else, we have AI, we have artificial insemination, we have unfortunately, a lot more ability to, and I don't want to say unfortunately, but because it costs so much and we're unfamiliar with it, we're uneducated with more of our fertility than any other thing. It's crazy that society believes that we should bear children and that's our purpose for walking life. Yet when you go into the hospital, they know very little about fucking fibroids, about what's happening with the cancers that we're seeing. They don't know shit about our goddamn bodies, but yet we're supposed to bear children. Make it make sense.
They just want us to be little baby cows. Just putting them out.
But also, fibroids is so serious, especially in Black women. And I'm glad that you said that. It was a lot of education that I learned later. I'm not even being funny right now, y'all. This happened around the pandemic time. I was getting very severe headaches. It was to the point to where I couldn't get out of bed. I was literally popping ibuprofens all day long. I went to about 3 or 4 different doctors. I got a CT. They could not find what was wrong with me. And I mean, it was to the point to where I was like, do I have a tumor? Like, what's going on? Do y'all know, and then as it went on, I just got used to it because I started taking ibuprofen so much. So then at the time I was like, okay, I'm ready to get some plastic surgery because time went on, I got used to it. I had to go when I was out the country because y'all be like talking crazy in the comments. But anyways, I went out the country to get my surgery. And the doctor outside of the country found a fibroid the size of a melon. He said, this is why you're getting headaches.
No way.
You have your hemo level is so low. I don't even know how you're standing up right now. My body had just adjusted to it, but I had went to so many doctors and they didn't even just to check my reproductive system and what's going on down there.
Because you said you was having headaches.
I was having headaches because my hemo level my iron was so low. He said, I don't know how you're standing up right now because your iron is so low.
Oh, wow.
So
again, the U.S. don't even try.
That y'all didn't even try.
And they don't listen to us.
They don't listen.
Complain about things.
Right.
When we say that this is hurting, it doesn't hurt that bad. What's your pain level on a scale of 1 to 10? You tell them a 7, they think you fucking lying. I am not hooked on the drugs, but I need something right now because I am literally in pain, and I also want you to figure it out.
I will say I think that's the difference between where we're at today, and it could be social media, it could just be sisterhood is developing. I think we have more conversations now about the pressures. We talk more about our health, we talk more about our sex life, and we talk more about our relationships with each other than I think they did.
I don't think so. I think the fact that we don't have no kids and no husbands, so we have more time to talk.
Oh, really? No, that is true.
Think about it.
That is true.
But I think it also helps us.
It does.
Because you said, bitch, we got time to have conversations.
Yeah, in the old days, you didn't have
real.
time. You had to wake up at 5, get your kids up, You might talk to your homegirl for a few minutes. Yeah.
I was talking to my mom about that. I was like, sometimes I feel like when I come to visit, you kind of feel away when I'm hanging out with friends and doing all this stuff and I'm seeing family, I'm seeing friends. What was your life like at my age? And then I remember, bitch, at 36, I was 16.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And so I remember what her life was like. She had her book club, and she would see them once a month, the last Sunday of the month, and that was her social
Probably
time.
selling Mary
She
Kay.
was always taking care of us. She did sell Mary Kay for a minute. That didn't quite work out.
I'm glad that we're not in the tropes of the what is the pyramid scheme?
All the pyramid scheme.
And then there was
We had
Herbalife.
brunch, we had happy hour, and what are we doing? Girl, I had a fibroid.
Yeah. Girl, I gotta go get this fibroid taken out.
Yeah. So we
So I
have
can get
a
my
little
other
more-
surgery.
Right.
Yeah.
I do want to go back to the point that you made though, because I know this sounds crazy because it's apple and oranges what I'm about to compare, but you said, when you hit 35, it's extremely difficult to have children and it's more dangerous. But like you said, we have so much access to different things now. And honestly, extremely difficult never scared me. It's extremely difficult for a Black woman to run a 6-figure business in America. That didn't stop me from doing
It's
that.
also extremely difficult to be 20 with a kid.
Exactly.
So if I
Yeah.
And to be broke with a kid.
A lot of things are extremely difficult, but I would rather take my time because I talked about this on Love Lex P the other day. I think it's worse to bring children. I'm not saying that everybody needs to get abortions or things like that. I just think that we need to be smarter.
I think we need more.
Bringing children into the world because you want to check because he got money, or bringing a child into the world because you think that's going to keep him around. We aren't really nowadays, they're not making children because they're married and this is a loving, I want a family or I want a legacy or whatever people say. Y'all are having kids to prove a point to another girl.
Yeah.
Y'all are having
I'm so
kids
sick of
for
the
a
legacy.
paycheck. I mean, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, then let me ask you, even saying that, because that's my stance on my legacy, when I say I don't want children, that's almost the number one question. Well, what are you leaving your like? What will your legacy?
You don't
be?
work every goddamn day.
My legacy is on BET Her Travel Queens.
Hello.
My legacy is on YouTube. Y'all can see.
That's what I said. That's what I said. That,
Your
like,
last name is Johnson. You have a Xbox. You have student loan debts. You don't have a legacy, boo. You're not Michael
People
Jordan.
be talking about. And
Nobody cares.
Oh wait.
She's talking about these men.
I'm talking about the men.
But
men
even
do
the women
always say
too.
that.
What about the women?
Same thing.
Yeah, you said, bitch, you got
Same thing. You got 3 wigs, an apartment. You don't have a legacy.
Bitch, you know, ho.
That's
and
a
what if
crazy.
you have a little hellion that don't even fuck with your ass
That's
and
not
wants
a good
to get
reason to
emancipated
have
or
a
something?
baby. Though.
Wait a
not.
second. So is this idea of leaving something left, your kids carrying on your legacy? You think that that's a crock of shit?
Yes, for that to be your number one reason to want to have kids, it's a crock of malarkey.
Oh,
What
You
did Mike
don't-
Tyson
what-
say?
what is your legacy?
Your legacy is you. What you do
Yes.
on this earth, how you make people feel, how you treat people, the
What is
work
the
that
impact?
you do. Yes,
Yes.
the impact that you make.
It's not the kids
It's
you
not
bring
your
in.
kids. God forbid, if Beyonce dies right now,
Oh.
nobody gonna be like, ooh.
Hold on, bitch. You done took
Now,
shit too
wait
far.
a minute.
saying.
Wait a
You
goddamn minute.
You said
I'm
it's
just
not
saying.
like she said that Beyonce's legacy is not left with Blue, Rumi, and
Sir,
Sir.
it's not.
They can try
not to
to
the world.
extend it.
Not
Okay,
to the
hold
world.
on.
Not
This
to
is
the
a
world.
perfect example because I talk about this a lot. Perfect
Okay.
example is Oprah. Oprah doesn't have any kids,
Right.
but the impact what Oprah has done for the media and black women in media,
right.
just media in general,
Right.
Yes.
it's always going to be Oprah
You're right.
Winfrey.
Right.
Textbooks, literally when I was in college and my journalism book, she's in there.
Yes.
Right.
She is in there. You know what I'm
This
saying?
woman has a network. Like, if she had a kid,
And I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I don't know. I might have said this on. I think I said this when I was sitting across from Mero. But for a lot of men who believe letting their name live on is their legacy and that their
your
legacy
last
is in their
name
kids.
is Johnson,
I
nigga.
know.
It's gonna live on.
Well, you know what I wanted to bring up, fellas. This is the greatest example. Y'all do not like Marcus Jordan, and y'all allow Michael Jordan to carry on his
Good point.
legacy without attaching it
That's
to
what
his
I'm saying.
kids that didn't do shit.
Magic
Okay.
Johnson.
I would have Magic Johnson because the son is gay, but
he
yes.
has 2 sons. He has an
does.
older son. The older son, what did he be doing?
I didn't even
You
know
right.
that.
I didn't know that either.
And the other son is fabulous. He's a legend.
Exactly.
Already.
Yes, but
So he's
but in terms
carrying-
of how men do attach
Right.
and think, there are exceptions even within pop culture where they haven't attached the
But
son
hold on.
to.
Here's what men need to ask themselves. A serious question. Here's what people need to ask themselves. Do you really want your kids to carry on what you're doing right now?
Ooh.
Yes.
That's a good question.
I
And
don't.
if
You
the
not doing
answer
shit.
is no.
Yeah, but
don't
I
have
always
them
say too,
kids.
the fact that you put your entire legacy in the hands of a whole nother adult and human being, I say it all the time. What if I give birth to a serial killer?
Right.
That is not my legacy.
He want to be Ted Bundy.
Okay.
And I'm talking about you carrying on my name.
You know what I mean?
No, you need a new name because what the fuck are you doing out here
Right.
killing every
think-
damn
And if you
body?
have a son,
I think that that's something that men carry more than women, but
because they don't gotta do shit to have a baby, but nut.
Oh, that's not they don't have to do
And
shit.
leave.
They don't gotta do nothing but nut.
And leave.
You are sitting
Yeah.
there for 9 months with your whole orbit changing. Like, I don't think we realize, because people do it so much, what being pregnant means and what it does to you.
And then giving birth.
Right.
Because you got to make it. Well,
Right.
you don't have to make it to the end. But if you do choose
I
that
ain't
route.
make it to the end.
if you
bitch.
choose to carry,
And did it.
I mean, even with an abortion, look at what that puts you through. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
It was a dot.
It was a what?
a diet. But you get what I'm saying. So of course these niggas are like, oh, let's do it for a
Yeah,
legacy.
they're
Nigga,
not
fuck
thinking
your
about
legacy.
that. If
Right.
you had to carry a baby in your
It'll be a
ball
lot
sack
less
and let
legacy
it
talk.
swell up, and now you got to waddle around like Mr. Penguin, y'all wouldn't be.
Can I
around
ask
to
you-
have
lot of
kids.
less-
I don't think
legacy
within our
talk.
lifetime we see racism leave. Do you think within our lifetime we see people accept women like us, women in their 30s, not wanting to be married, not wanting to have children, and all the things in which generations prior to us
I think so.
instilled into women? You think that we'll reach a place within our lifetime?
Because I'm slowly starting to see men say that they don't want children either. Slowly. They're still a very small population. But I'm starting to see a lot more men.
Well, yeah, they
kinda
just don't
jump on
show
the
up.
wave.
But I honestly think that we are changing as a society, because I do agree with her, because I feel like people are starting to realize the value in understanding it's okay. 30 isn't a death wish. You don't have to write your wills out and be like, oh, I'm finna croak and die.
Right.
We are learning, like, oh my gosh, like I said, I'm the healthiest I have ever been in my entire life at 35 years old. I'm the best I've ever looked at 35 years old.
Same.
So I just feel like we are all learning. Men are learning that too. They're like,
look at Method Man.
that's what I'm saying. They're like, what?
damn.
They're
Men
like,
do
what
be
is
looking
the
good when they
rush?
get old.
I mean, I think even being able to see women, right? We have the Nia Longs, we have the Halle Berrys, we
Yes.
have the even Angela Bassett's. We have like all of these beautiful J-Lo. Goddamn, like the women in their 50s. When we look back and see that even a Rihanna was only 22 when she came out, like
right.
we viewed age so drastically different,
different.
Yeah.
that it's just like, wait one moment. And so with this, I do want to get into a hot topic, because based on what you're saying, Lex, it's giving age ain't nothing but a number. So Tracy Ellis Ross recently talked about dating younger men. She said a lot of men my age are steeped in a toxic masculinity and have been raised in a culture where there is a particular way that a relationship looks. I think, to be fair, we talked about even traditional relationships and what it looks like. Anything that starts to smell of that for me, I did enough of it where I was controlled and felt like I was a possession or a prize. I just have no interest in it. And I will not do it again. I have long been past the age where I feel like it's my job to teach somebody or grow them up, like the man child you was talking about. That I'm not interested in. I also want to be very clear. There was really, comprehension skills are lost amongst us. She did not say she wants a 19-year-old.
At all.
Right.
She is in her 50s, which means a younger man could be a millennial in his 30s or 40s.
Yes.
That's what it can mean. So the narratives that where they've been comparing her to and we'll talk the Drea and the Jalen's, or they've been comparing it to Trick Daddy, who recently said at his big age of 51 that he dates women betwin the age of 22.
If you're 22 and you're dating Trick Daddy, go to betterhelp.com/poor minds, POURMINDS.
Yes,
And I
because you
mean
need
that.
help, sister girl.
Yeah.
Well, just period. Not if you're 22.
I mean,
just
if I
period.
was 50 something, today, I try not. We just had this conversation on the way over. I'm trying to judge women a lot less, but I couldn't see myself being 50 some dating a 35.
Can I ask you then, what is the difference, and is there one, between women saying they like younger men and men saying they like younger women? Because oftentimes with men, the word
there's not.
attached to it is grooming. Do you feel like Tracy Ellis Ross may be dating younger men because she doesn't want to be held accountable and she's grooming them? Or do you think that it could be something different?
I'm not going to say she's grooming them. And I wouldn't say a 50-year-old man is grooming a 35-year-old woman either.
Okay.
But I would say for me, it's a little weird. From
Okay.
where I'm sitting today.
What
But I might be
is
50.
what is the age difference that you find it to be weird? Because you said 50 and 35, I agree. Is there a
You're
certain
like-
age then?
I think that if she was dating like a 40-year-old maybe, and that may sound like, what's the difference between 35 and 40? But think about yourself from 30 to 35. It's a
I can't.
totally...
I think that it's not
28 to
grooming.
34, right?
And I think too, it's like people aren't listening to her. She wasn't saying because she wants to change their minds about something, or she literally says she ain't teaching nobody shit.
Right.
I think that younger men closer to our age and possibly older, I don't know, but younger than her, around our age, they have more open minds.
Right,
And
more
I think
a modern
that's
view.
what she's interested in, and not trying to control somebody, not trying to teach somebody or mold them into a man.
Now, I agree
I
with her,
agree.
because when 50-year-old niggas men try to talk to me, I'll be like,
I'm not gonna lie.
Grandpa, please.
My ex was 17 years my senior. My current boyfriend now is 8 years younger than me. And
Oh, Lord have mercy.
see what I mean? Look at the judge. I
8
thought
years
age was.
younger. Is he mature?
Yes, he's
Or
British.
Wait, so how old is he?
He's British. He's 26.
They grow up fast over there?
So, yeah.
I'm just
See,
curious.
this was the reason I was saying that, because to me, I just had this conversation.
Okay,
because
let's talk
people
about
like
it.
to talk about like the Dreas or the Aisha. She was sleeping with Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
I say this, to me, once you hit like 35, 40,
Okay.
age gaps don't really matter. Like, you are who you are. Like, you don't really change, to me,
I agree.
personality-wise.
I agree.
But once you're like dating people that's 30 and under, I'm kind of like, 8 years to me, that's not that big of a difference because you're not in your 40s or 50s.
Right.
So I'm just looking at you sideways because I don't know what a 26-year-old can do for your ass.
That's crazy. But so, and I guess so that as modern day women who have our own money, who don't seek like having babies, to me, I'm in a position now where I'm not looking for the security of a man. I'm not looking for the protection of a man. Nigga, I got the Ring camera on my front door. Like, to me, I'm looking for a genuine connection with just a person I like. And when I was in my 20s, a lot of it was, how much money does nigga make? What can he do for me? As a woman who has her own now, I feel like I'm privileged to be able to enter into relationships with men that I genuinely just like.
Yes.
I agree with you to a certain
That part.
extent.
Okay, talk to me.
But the money is still important.
And
I'll
he got
say why.
his own money. He got his own house, car.
Okay.
He got his own career.
He still gotta have his own thing.
He got his own
But
shit.
that's not the make or break thing. Like
It is now for me. It is. I'm not gonna lie. It is.
So-
And now we need to be.
What's the line?
We need to be
equally
yoked.
yoked. I can agree with that.
Because one of the last arguments I had in my last relationship, he was like, "You don't need a vacation every year." I need a vacation every quarter.
Self-care.
Every quarter.
Self-care.
And anybody who knows me, that's some wild shit to say to me. I was like, yes, you do.
What
Okay,
was
do you
his
feel like
point?
there's an insecurity right now because women are getting degrees at a higher rate, which means they're making more money than men our age, that the insecurity is that they're not equally yoked anymore.
That is-
They're not
that's
being
what I'm
able
saying.
to.
That's why I'm
They're
not.
definitely
They're
not.
not. They're
And
not.
then they are surprised that you like them. Why do you like me? Seriously, I don't like me.
I would
Yeah.
never talk to a guy.
But
That
I
part.
think that it's important to find a man that really supports you and claps for you. Because
I
you'll
agree.
notice if a man is not clapping for you when you get that job promotion or you get a new podcast or whatever you're trying to do and he's not clapping for you, it's going to get worse.
Can I ask you
and worse.
He's a
I
big
know we're
hater.
talking about insecurity and jealousy. Do you guys believe then that as the modern day woman, we are literally intimidating men?
Yes.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think so.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's anything
Jason
that
look
we
like-
outright say or do directly to them. They just feel it. They look at your Instagram. They see what you have going
Yep.
on. If you have a conversation, you're not saying anything to them to put them down, but they start feeling less than because
Yeah.
they realize they ain't really been doing shit but playing
So-
the goddamn game.
Right.
Okay.
So
And
my
going to a
friend-
job they hate.
My friend broke it down to me like this. She said, I wouldn't want to date you either.
Why?
And I was like, damn. And she was like, because you are annoying. Like, you are going to go get,
Damn.
you're going to look up, you're going to make some more money. You're going to look up, you're going to have a podcast. You're going to look up, you're going to get a house. You're going to look up, you're going to get another car. You look up, I went to Europe last year for my birthday for a month.
And
were
none
in
of that is you
Europe-
gonna look up and have a man.
Well, no, she said as the man, it's annoying.
This is why she
because
did
I gotta keep level. Like she was like, as your friend, I'm annoyed because I'm trying to, keep up with you.
We have to date men who are ambitious and just as
Right.
hard as go-getters as we are.
Right.
But honestly, it's hard because most of the time they are intimidated by
Right.
it.
Okay, so I have a hot take here.
Oh, shit. Here she goes.
Because we are all around the same age.
Yes.
What's crazy is I will only be interested in dating the generation under me or the generation before me.
That's a big gap.
Well, hear me out. I think millennial men grew up in the worst era. They are the most stunted emotionally. They are all either crack babies or undiagnosed with tisms that were not diagnosed because we did not believe in mental health care. In the 90s, they were raised by the hip hop of misogyny. And in terms of where we were in terms of comedy and television, everything was like at the guise of them. They were these powerful beings and women were all just possessions to them. They were all toys. They were all just for sex and to make them look better. And unfortunately, in the era right now that we're in of the red pill pods as well, they're doing nothing but reiterating those same skewed notions that they refuse to unlearn. And so for me, I have not been, I do feel like they're the laziest of the generations. And so for me, I have not been interested, nor have I would say in the last 10 years, dated anybody my age.
Wow.
Now I can
Mandy hates
kind
the
of agree.
millennials.
I can kind of agree with some with a hot take.
Woo, you read them
But
down.
I don't know that older men are any better. It's a little, it's quieter, and they are providers. But the misogyny is very loud because that's what Tracy was saying.
The misogyny is loud. I do believe they believe in gender roles. However, in the terms of where millennial women are, we are looking for those providers and niggas to take care of the household. Those are the tricks. Those are the niggas that they feel like they are men when they provide. That's the older generation. That's not the millennials. And these young, and I will say too.
But like you said, you're not looking for anybody to provide though. So.
No. But I'm saying a lot of women still though are.
Okay.
Oh, we lean into the patriarchy still very much as millennial women. And we believe that a man gonna pay for the date. We not splitting 50-50. We still
sure
seek
not.
men.
Now, wait
That's
a
what I'm saying. And the younger
But is
generation
that
of women.
patriarchy or is that just what we do? Because it's just like if you want a job, you gotta send your resume.
I think
if
God
you want a
said
job, you gotta come to the interview.
I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to like little stuff like that, I don't even talk about that. Like, oh, who's paying for the day?
No. I don't care
But
about that.
I'm
now
not gonna
either.
lie. When it comes to like marriage and buying houses, doing businesses together and creating like, a net worth and doing this, I want a partnership.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
Yes.
just sit at home and be like, oh, he's taking care of it. You know how many times we see women get divorced and they be like, I don't know how to pay the light bill.
They
They
don't know
don't have
anything.
access to anything. I want a partnership. So I don't mind being like a 50-50 because just as much I want my man to be a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire
Period.
too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I am all about partnership. I don't necessarily want a provider because I feel like I just want partnership. But I do feel like because I date my age. So don't say
it like that.
No. What
Judgy.
I'm saying is though, the millennial men that I have found that I have been dating, they like that. They
Okay.
I know I intimidate a lot of men, but I feel like the men that I've encountered in the past few years have been like, okay, I like that about
because
her.
they got their own thing going on.
Yeah.
That a lot of that what she was talking about, I agree with a lot of it. But it's like you said, they wake up one day and they realize, oh shit, I'm 40. And I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
And then I have all these, and unfortunately for them, they have a dating pool of just amazing women. How many amazing women do we know? But it's like, damn, like my friend said, I'm tired of dating you hoes. Every time I look up, I got to get a new job.
Yeah.
I want to work my same job, make my same, they are very, I'm noticing they're
Creatures
very.
of habit.
Yeah, they do the same shit, go to the same places, talk to the same, it's no growth.
And I think for me, when I'm looking for somebody, I do want a partnership. I want you to have that in you that you do want to provide because I do need you to understand you got to work. You got to bring some income in. You don't necessarily have to clock in and out, but you do need to provide something. But in a long-term relationship, I am looking at it more of a partnership. I have no problem contributing.
Right.
But I also don't want you to think that because I go out here and get it, then I'm taking care of your ass.
Right.
You know,
Can
it's
I
not
ask-
going to go that way.
You want to be married. You want to be married. Do you want to be married?
Absolutely. I told you I want to be married 8 times.
Are y'all initiating or signing prenups to protect
Absolutely.
yourself?
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And,
Okay,
and if he has
are you
more,
crazy?
I will
No, I'm
sign that
asking.
shit. I think it makes it so much easier. And I think that people go into prenups thinking that a prenup means when or if you get divorced,
You
that
ain't
you
getting
will
shit.
leave with nothing.
Yeah.
No, that is not what it
The
is.
prenup is saying, hey,
it's just what it's gonna be.
Yeah, hey, I'm gonna give you $10,000 a month when we divorce, or hey, I'm gonna give
That
you a
ain't what
lump sum.
prenups say, but okay.
But
Look
you
at
can make them say whatever you
can
want to
make
say.
them say whatever.
You can say, as a woman, you can say, I'm gonna protect all my assets. And we ain't protecting yours. Literally, you can say that if you want to.
Yeah,
then-
it's up to
Because
you.
the prenup worked in Nick Lachey's favor with Jessica Simpson. It didn't work in her favor. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't. I think a lot of times people are scared because they're like, oh, they're going to leave with everything. A lot of times they have cheating clauses in there.
Yeah.
So
I'm
when,
sure gonna
when
have
these
one in
men are
mine.
taking up and like, oh, this is why you don't get married. It was a cheating clause in there. So
Yeah.
if he could have just stayed faithful, he wouldn't have had to give up no money. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't know why you would put a cheating clause in your
I mean,
prenup.
either.
No,
Joe.
you
You're a
can't.
cheater.
You know
I
you
don't
gonna
know.
cheat.
That's why I got to give it up to Ocho Cinco. Because did y'all
Why-
watch
wait,
the
what
WAC?
happened?
Because when him and Sherelle were still together,
That was fake.
I know it was, but
It's
it was
scripted.
funny. But it was just funny because they were like, "Oh, it's a cheating clause in there." He said, "Oh, I'm definitely not signing that."
Well, you gotta know yourself.
I mean, allegedly, a cheating clause was in the. There was a prenup between Tiana and Iman,
Oh,
and I was surprised that.
But
that was
according to
signed.
them, they left with mostly everything that they came with besides
that's
him.
all I want.
Didn't she get some extra?
wanna
house?
leave with what I got.
She got
got
some
a little bit
spousal
extra.
support, but she like the houses and stuff. That's what her mama
So
posted.
if
that it was her
there,
stuff.
if there's a prenup, if you are a woman with your own and I know I had this conversation with Allison, but then what is the reason for marriage?
So that I can leave with my shit that I worked hard for.
No. That's for the prenup. If everything that he has is his and everything that you have is yours.
Before we got here. So you may say, hey, so for example, if we all get married at 40, we already pretty successful, right? So all my retirement accounts that I've built up before I even knew you, all my money is before I knew you is mine. Now, if we get things together, if we buy a house together, then we split it evenly.
Were you just joking when you said you wanted 8 husbands?
No, I wasn't.
You want 8 husbands?
Yeah. I want to be like Elizabeth Taylor. Let me say that.
All at the same time, or did she have 8 marriages?
No, she had 8 marriages.
Lots of
marriages. Yeah.
But if y'all don't get married, y'all gonna be at that man's funeral you spent 30 years with getting introduced as a special friend.
That part.
You ain't gonna get no benefits.
Or somebody else in his family is gonna make the decisions for him when he is in the hospital, even though you have been beside him
I had a friend
forever.
who had a guy that were together for years and years and years, had 2 kids together, blah, 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 blah. He falls into a coma out of nowhere, y'all. He got pneumonia, went to a coma, blah, blah, blah. His mama came there the next day and said, I'm pulling the plug. And
I
it was
don't care what
nothing
nobody
she could do.
Outside.
To me, marriage is still important if that's what you want. But we have to look beyond the partnership and the love. It's serious shit like that happens.
Yes.
And marriage is very important.
I mean, you got paper. There's a song, an old song. I'm really about to tell y'all who I am for real. But it's a song called She's Got Papers on Me. And the point of the song is the man is singing to another woman and he's telling his side bitch, hey, I really want to leave my wife, but she got papers on me. So we can do this, but I gotta stay married. And I always think about that song because a nigga don't think twice when you got that paperwork.
But he still had a side chick, so did he really think twice?
But yeah, because he didn't leave. He stayed, and at that time, it's an old song. So at that time, women needed their husbands to be there to pay the bills.
We
couldn't open a bank account. We couldn't buy a home. We couldn't do a lot of things. That's relatively recent in the past 100 years.
My grandmother divorced my biological grandfather in like 78 because they got into a fight at a nightclub and he left her. They lived in Seattle.
They was at the nightclub when they was in their 70s?
It was in 78.
Oh, the year was 78.
Yeah, 78. Oh, but yes, they still be in the club. But the year was 78, and they had an argument, and he left her at a nightclub in Seattle. She had on a mini skirt and pantyhose, and she didn't have a nickel to use the payphone, and she had to walk home in feet to snow, and she divorced him after that. And I was like, why you ain't have a nickel? She was like, because at that time, your man
had the money.
Oh, wow.
That was in 78. She didn't have a bank account, her own bank account in 1978.
Well, yeah, we weren't allowed to even get them until, I think, 1974.
Somewhere, it's like, oh, my husband had all the money.
So then with everything and is there no fear of getting old? We're in our 30s, and I know a lot of people feared getting to the 30s.
That's fear for me.
Is there a fear of aging or aging out? And what do you feel like you would age out of?
I'm not aging out of shit.
Yeah, I'm not aging out,
I just
but
feel
aging,
like the reason I say that is because, like I said, I look at Poor Minds in the beginning and Wind Down Wednesday, and as I get older, I get wiser, and I just change, but my audience changes with me, and they love it, and they embrace me. I don't pay attention to the people, to the incels, and the people I pay attention to people who understand me.
Right.
You can't age out if you are authentically who you are. How can I age out of being me?
So why do you fear getting older than even hearing your best friend say that?
Probably because it's foolishly. I fear so much change. Like, again, I was talking to my friend the other day. So much change. I was talking to my friend the other day, and she was like, I miss my old life when we was 20-something, and I could just show up at my little rinky-dink job, and I could do whatever I wanted to do. And I'm like, girl, I don't miss that shit. But then she brought out a good point. She said, I do, because now I got to, like, help my parents, with their lives, and I'm talking about taxes and inheriting their properties. And
you know what it actually is? It's, and leaning into the name of this show, it's ignorance being bliss.
Right.
There's a lot in being able to just exist and party when you're not fearing the things that come with real life.
Yeah. Now she's like, all we talk about is money and investments, and I'm tired of this shit. I just want to.
But honestly, like she said, it's ignorance, because honestly, the thing is, we are not educated on stuff that we should be educated on. I had a conversation with Medina because I'm trying to move, and I was telling her what I pay in rent now and what I'm probably going to have to be paying. She said, girl, you need to buy a house.
Yeah.
She said, and don't be scared.
Mortgage, yeah.
She was like, don't be afraid, but we don't educate ourselves. Why is it? It's
not only
bad
that, do you know how many of my friends are having to downsize or change their thing because they all owe 6 figures in taxes because they chose not to pay taxes for the last 3 to 5 years. What? So many of taxes is not something that we're taught about. And the problem is too, a lot of us grew up with white collar, blue collar parents. Right. So now that we're all entrepreneurs with 1099, there's so many people that don't know how to deal with taxes or how to pay or what to put aside or how to pay quarterly. And so I'm seeing so many of my peers in their 30s not only be in debt from college because we were all told that college was what we had to do. Yeah. I'm seeing everyone having to change in their mid 30s to early 40s because now they owe so much goddamn money in taxes.
But these aren't bad or scary conversations. I think we have to turn.
But I agree with her in the fact that that's kind of all we talk about now.
I don't think it's a bad thing.
We mature. It's so funny because we went to the farmer's market the other day. Me and my best friend, we went to the farmer's market and it was cold, so we couldn't shop because we was uncomfortable. Right. So then we driving and she said, "Ooh, girl, gas $2.67 over here. Let me." I was like, "Let me go off MLK." I said, "Oh my God, we sound like our parents."
Aunties, we are talking about the goddamn weather, gas prices.
Enjoy it.
I am looking forward to being old.
Do y'all not go into restaurants and be like, oh, "It's just too loud here"?
Yes. Oh yeah. Can y'all turn that music? I can't stand all that bumpity bump in a restaurant. It is too goddamn loud. Turn that TV down. I don't know what these kids is rapping about. It's disturbing. My
the mumble rap is killing me.
I don't know any of the rappers.
But this is what I was saying earlier. We have to learn how to embrace the inevitable.
I know.
Anything.
I got Peter Pan syndrome.
No, when we were talking about aging and how Kiki was like, "Oh, I was lying," or how even I'm just noticing y'all are still saying mid-30s. Who gives a damn? We have to age.
Are all of y'all
I
okay?
just ain't great at math, and so I didn't want to mess up the number. Now that I'm in my era of telling the truth, I had to double check. But I'm 36, but I'm happy with it now. Right. I just wasn't always there.
Being called auntie?
No, I'm not.
I am.
Okay.
I wasn't at first, but yes, I am.
You're okay. Lex is okay.
As long as they're not saying it to be shady.
They are. Bitch, I'm not your auntie.
Well, no. People in the poor crew call me auntie, and I enjoy it.
I think you start calling yourself that, right?
Yeah. But this is the thing, though. I wish I had a Lex P to look up to when I was in my 20s. So I always say Lex P went through that, so you ain't got to go through that.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? So like getting back to what I was saying, embrace the inevitable. Now I'm talking about these taxes. I'm talking about because that's something we have to do.
We have to do.
It's inevitable.
And look, she mad. She got to grow up.
I am. It's beautiful. I love it. I love it.
So I don't like the stressful parts of growing up, but I am very much looking forward to being old. I cannot wait to have a home with a porch and a rocking chair. I want to sip lemonade, sometimes with some vodka in it, sometimes not. I want to be talking to the kids. I want them to come over to Miss Kiki's house and ask me for a cup of sugar or something.
I think it's because the older I get, the more beautiful life gets, man. I mean, the thing
that's a blessing.
I've been able to experience in life, and like I honestly think maybe I'm a little biased because every month, my dreams are coming more and more true. Like we just had the premiere of Travel Queens last night. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe I am a little biased on this, but I always tell people like whatever it is that you want to do, if it is marrying a banker or being a teacher, do everything that you want to do and get everything you can out of this life.
I will say the bar is aging doesn't bother you when you're excelling in life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When you even say that, because I'm excelling, but I'm scared. But you said you're scared. Like my friend said, I kind of miss. So like in the pandemic, right? I moved to Barbados. Just moved there, and I had 2.
You be living life,
bro. This subtle flex.
Exactly. So my younger self would just pick up my shit and go, right? And so for the last 5 years, that's kind of what I did. I left Barbados. I came and moved here. Started high maintenance, and I just was doing whatever I wanted to do. I would go live somewhere for a month and go do all this. But now my life has kind of changed, and now I had to get me a house. I have had a car since 2018 because I was always right. So the other day I went. And I went to Mercedes and was like,
"Oh no, she had to buy a Mercedes Benz."
You know what?
Not the Mercedes.
There are gonna be people listening to this like these bitches.
Shut up.
No, but really.
why your friend said you annoying. Because
You annoying. You really
But I was
annoying.
like, I got the car, I put it in the garage, never looked at it again. Everybody like, you happy? I'm like, no, because this means I'm an adult for real. I'm not gonna be just traveling. It's freeing not having shit, y'all, for real.
It is. I do you know what's crazy? When I moved to New York, I say some of my best nights in life came when I was
Probably
wearing
eating a
my
dollar
rainbow
pizza.
jacket,
Exactly.
cold as fuck, eating a dollar pizza, trying to figure out, okay, am I gonna spend my money on toilet paper or ramen? Because I gotta eat, but I gotta wipe my ass.
And now you like, all right, my taxes in the
I don't
farmer's
know.
market.
I had a grand old time in my 20s.
But no, I'm having a way better time.
I'm
don't
having
wanna
a
go
way. I do not. I had a grand time, but like I said, I'm just embracing this life that I'm. You just brought a Mercedes
Period.
off the lot.
Off the
Please
lot.
be for real.
My point is, it symbolized to me that one part of myself was essentially dying.
Oh.
And I had to embrace that, bitch, you are this, you
Growing
are
up.
that. Like, you know, I've embraced that I'm kind of important in the work that I do. I didn't accidentally got important. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all really
Now that I
dependent-
accidentally got responsibility with my
and
career.
y'all really like, hold on, y'all really need me. Like my friend said, we used to just be at a show to our rinky-dink job, clock in and kind of coast for the day and go home.
But
So
we
now-
also like to. This is just like a relationship. When you can have the most horrible boyfriend and y'all break up and be like, oh, but this was so sweet. This was so. You don't remember how you was stressed because the rent
Yeah, it
was
was.
due,
Right.
bills was due.
That's true.
Shit wasn't peachy. It's just
couldn't go
looking back
places.
on it. It's like it looks good now because of what you're doing now.
I think this is hard now, right? So now
Well, first
I'm
off,
challenged.
eggs is $36. We just in a different economy.
Life was hard when I moved to Atlanta and I was talking about I had $3. I would never go back to that. I'm sorry. Yes,
yeah.
I didn't have responsibility, but I still got my same
Lex
car.
said whoever said money didn't buy happiness is cap.
Shit.
They lied. They
Y'all see
lied.
this wig,
They
baby.
lied.
I'm
It might
happy
not
as
buy
fuck.
happiness, but it sure don't buy stress.
Okay.
Okay.
I know that's
Come
right.
on
There's a
now.
quote that says, money don't buy happiness, but poverty doesn't buy anything. Now, I never said I didn't want the money.
Okay, now. Come on now.
Nah, I never
Come
said I
on
didn't
now.
want the money.
Okay,
I'm
I'm not
just
mad at
saying
that.
I'm being challenged a lot more now in the work that I do and in my life. Like my friend
Yeah.
said, figuring out taxes. And I really had to mourn that part of you is kind of over. You're not going to be traveling around and going to stay in Atlanta because you feel like it or that's not your life no more.
If you could leave, and I guess we'll wrap with this. If you could tell your teenager, 20-something-year-old self something that wasn't told to you, what would it be?
I don't know about that wasn't told to me because it was very much told to me. I told you.
You just ain't listen?
Yeah. The women in my family have been telling me for a long time, get you some money.
Okay.
Get your own money. Money will open doors. Like we just said that a lot of stuff cannot open. And when I was younger, I wanted money and I knew I wanted money and all that, but I wasn't really actively doing the things I needed to do to go get it and to understand it.
Okay.
My retirement, I'm late in the retirement game. Like I know people that have been saving for 401k since their very first job,
Right.
right? At 16. And that wasn't me, baby. I need all that. Take them 401k deductions off there. So I wish I would have did stuff like that, kind of set myself up more because now I kind of feel like I'm playing, and I'm doing well, but I still feel like I'm kind of trying to play catch up to my peers.
Okay.
Some of my peers. So
Okay.
it's not a good feeling. So I wish I would have took certain things a little more serious.
You wish you would have said, get you some money. What about you, Lex?
Kind of the same thing, but I wish I would have had more confidence and been more focused because I feel like now, as crazy as it sounds, I've been doing Poor Minds for so long, but I was so scared to start Love Lex P. And it's crazy because I've only been doing Love Lex P for about 3 months now, and I've had so many opportunities come in that I'm working on and things coming up. And I'm just like, if I would have had the confidence to just start a podcast or something when I was like 25 and been focused and, where would I be now 10
Right.
years in the game?
Right.
But I'm always grateful because it's supposed to happen. I have the best co-host and fucking business partner that anybody could ever ask for. It's amazing. So I'm not mad at it, but I'm like, damn, Drea, if we would have met and we would have been focused,
Yeah.
imagine where we would be now. But that's probably what I would say, but I'm still happy where I'm at. And I feel
love
like
it.
it's a lesson in everything. So
Yeah, I do wish I had more confidence in myself and not always feeling like I need to do something with somebody else. I need somebody to help
Amen,
me.
sis.
But at the same time, I do wish that I understood networking more and I did things like by the book, as you're supposed to. You go to college, you get your degree, you do your internships, you do all these things, and it should lead you to the path that you want for your career. But what I wasn't doing was making sure that not only did I meet people, but maintain those connections. And I wish I would have done a better job at that. I think it would have helped me. And then just having more confidence to do things on my own and not always waiting for somebody else. Even before I started Cocktails, I wanted to do a podcast. When I found out about podcasts, The Read was the first podcast.
Shout out to Crystal and Fury.
Yes.
My friend Candace was like, I think you would like this show. It's a podcast. And I was like, what's a podcast? And she tells me, sends me the link. I'm listening to it. I loved it. It got me through a job I hated, right? Because at that point, I had a couple of years to catch up on. But I tried different names. I tried a ton of different people. Even when I started Cocktails, I had 3 co-hosts. Y'all probably didn't even know that. It was 2 niggas and another girl. And it's just like Destiny's Child. People was rotating in and out. But
That's funny.
I wish that I would have stuck to my own guns with my initial thought for the show and how I wanted it to go. And I wish that I wouldn't have waited so long to even start it. I wish that I wasn't waiting on other people to give me opportunities. And I try to tell people that stop waiting on everybody else to give you a chance. If you believe in yourself and you think you can do it, just do it. If the opportunity is not there, make it. It's so much easier to do things now with the internet than it was before. So I just
agree.
wish, all of that. And I should have been saving some money. I still need to work on that. I ain't learned that yet.
What about
and
you?
For me, because I said this probably in year 1 of Horrible Decisions, and it was one of the most ignorant things I said based on how far I've come in the last 4 years.
The most?
Yes, one of the most. I would say, because I'm a millennial like these niggas I won't date, that I should have gotten to therapy much earlier to forgive my younger self and the decisions that were being made. I like to forget her. And when I say her, my teenage self, the woman in my 20s. And so I'm learning to love that person for, I'm here where I'm at because of her.
Yes.
And so navigating my 20s with the baggage of trauma, with the regret, with my family issues and all those things, I think I could have been more confident, back to what y'all said, and more sure of who I was, instead of seeking so much validation from men and people that shouldn't have gotten to smell my ass, to be very clear. And so for me, in your 20s, I would just recommend therapy.
Yes, I agree.
We don't have ads here yet, so go to BetterHelp.
BetterHelp.com
/poor
Period.
But to me, I think that we're getting into therapy a little late.
I think so too. Because now we unpacking
Bitch,
too
we
much.
unpacking decades.
If we had help earlier, we wouldn't have to be unpacking so much.
There would have been, I think it would have been a little bit easier to guide me into where I'm at now. And I would have been able to know myself way better had I gone earlier. So that would be my advice to myself. I want to ask the audience, do you feel pressured for your life to be at a certain level, whether professionally or personally, by your 30s? Or are you comfortable with aging and the unpredictability it brings? I still don't know where I'm at with that. I'm battling. I'll be 35 this year, and I'm like, oh shit. My mama called me 35 on the phone, and I said, bitch, I'm 34.
Put some respect on my 34.
I said, put some respect on my 34. Anyways, before we get out of here, I want everyone to be able to drop where my audience can listen to you more, and your opinions, your views, your thoughts, your concerns on all things.
Okay, you can listen to me on Cocktail Shady Discussions, and then I have a new podcast that will be launching sometime in May. I don't know. Just follow me on Instagram to find out at KikiSaidSo. But it is called the Exo Man Podcast, and I am exclusively interviewing Black men. I don't know how they picked me for this.
I don't know how you doing it.
But I've been enjoying. I've been learning a lot about them. They're very interesting creatures, but I'm talking to them about different aspects of Black masculinity from their point of view, instead of us telling them, as a man you should, because I can't stand when somebody tells me as a woman you should. So I'm talking to them, and they need therapy too, so they need to go to betterhelp.com. Anyway, those episodes will be dropping. Audio's on Tuesday. Wednesday it will be the video. It comes out sometime spring, summer, joggers. I don't know.
All right,
Those should be coming out. is not just my show. So I am the only host, though. But you gotta wait.
I love it.
Okay.
All right, Lex, go ahead and your Rolodex.
Yeah. So Mondays, Love Lex P drops every morning, 10 a.m. Then on Wednesdays, we have Travel Queens that is on BET Her.
Yes.
And then Fridays, Poor Minds drops every morning, audio 10 a.m., visuals at 7 p.m. And make sure my co-host Drea, she has a YouTube channel, so y'all go follow her, Drea Nicole with 3 E's. I'm also wearing her lip line, Muse Beauty, so y'all go check that out, musebeautycollection.com. Okay.
Period, boo.
And come on, Killer.
Well, go to High Main Pod. Keep watching the videos on YouTube. Keep running it up. My old podcast. And then I have my new project coming out, which is kind of going to be like a lifestyle. Think Martha Stewart meets Wendy Williams.
I love it.
It's going to be called Honeycomb. Yeah, so I'll be doing like cooking. I always do dinner parties at my house and stuff. So be documenting all that. It'll be... And then, of course, it'll be some podding on there. So, Honeycomb coming soon.
I love
Joggers.
it. I love it.
Summer's
coming.
And as y'all know, you can catch me every Monday, Decisions. Make sure you get my book, No Holds Barred, available for pre-order now. We are also going on tour, so if you haven't yet, go to nhbtour.com for that book. And again, if you want to see the video of Selective Ignorance, make sure you join us on Patreon. We're also beginning our live town halls this month, so y'all get to join me in being fucking ignorant. I love it. Y'all also can talk to me daily on the Discord if you are a patron. So make sure y'all go on over to patreon.com/Selective Ignorance. I hope that y'all didn't miss Jason and A King too much this episode, but we ain't want to hear from you niggas. There was enough women to keep up with the topic.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes.
I just had a full circle moment, and I know I give y'all's flowers so much, Kiki and Mandii, because when I first got in this game, I remember coming to a Horrible Decisions show. Kiki, you and Medina had opened up, and I was just like, oh my God, I hope I can do that one day. So
and is.
Honestly, y'all showing up. Kiki, you moderated the Travel Queens.
Good.
You did amazing.
So good.
Mandii, you showed up for me. So I really just wanted to say thank y'all so much, because I really, if I'm being honest, me and Drea wouldn't even be in this space if y'all didn't welcome us with open arms. So I really just wanted to say thank y'all. And I appreciate
why you want to be like
Thank
me? Because I
you.
was definitely about to say, Mandii, thank you for letting me get on this mic.
Yes.
First off, I find you to be fucking hilarious. And much like Lex, who I've always seen the talent from her tweets. Bitch, from before we knew what a goddamn podcast was.
Right.
I love seeing women just be unapologetically themselves and navigate life in a way to where I've been able to see you transcend from your 20s to working at goddamn Massage Envy to now being a multimillionaire.
It was European wax center, man.
Same shit.
Go get y'all waxes.
Nigga little wax. So now saying watch my show on BET.
You know, from having only $3 to millions.
You with your book, don't
Period.
get. Y'all,
Yes.
I'm not gonna talk about this book because that's crazy to me. And then I could go down all y'all resumes. Y'all need sold out tours now. You got a new pod coming out. You did that moderation. Like, I'm just happy to be
I'm
here with
so
y'all.
proud to be
thank you,
sharing
Mandii.
mics and sharing space with all of you.
I think that's so important. And that's something that I love about you guys, like not being gatekeepers, always helping.
Period.
I think it's very important to show up for people. If I can make it, I'm coming. I will be in the audience and I'm rooting people on. And I hate that there's this idea that women can't support each other,
Right.
especially women in the same space. And I am so against that. I think that we have to support each
There's
other.
enough
and that's
space,
how people go.
money, and audience for us all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Facts.
And as y'all keep aging, so do our audience, okay? Anyways, y'all, you can hate it or you can love it. Either way, are you choosing to be selectively ignorant or are you choosing to be educated? See you guys next week.
Bye, y'all.
Thanks, Mandii. Bye.